Hey everyone, Deborah Sunderland of Sunderland Coaching. Wanting to remind you about relationships. We are not taught growing up how to relate to ourselves, meaning what we tell ourselves, which brings our emotion, which brings our behavior, and in the end brings the outcomes we have, whether it's joy, peace, fear, anxiety, anger, irritation, sadness, and that plays out in how we show up in the world. It plays out in how we behave. It plays out in how we connect to ourselves and the world around us, the people in the world, the organizations we work for and support. So I'm wondering how you're mastering knowing yourself and becoming aware of what you tell yourself, the beliefs you have. Many times, well, this is how it's true, because I've coached countless people, business owners, CEOs, leaders, teams, on their beliefs over the years, because we're not aware of our beliefs. We are on autopilot 98% of the time. We're just doing the same old thing and expecting a different result, which we know Einstein says insanity. The only way out of that is to become aware of, do I want to believe this thought? How do I feel when I believe this thought? Is it the way I want to feel? Is it the way I want to behave? We cannot change outcomes, cannot change results. We can only change what brought us to our outcomes and our results. So when we get an outcome we don't like, it's our beautiful alert system that we're just on autopilot. That's all that means. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not missing anything. You lack no good thing. You are wired beyond measure for love, truth, connection, and ultimate results. We shortchange our results. Not our team, we do personally. And so I would love for you to consider every time you get an outcome you don't want, it is just your wake up. They're on autopilot. And there is a new way of seeing yourself, a new way of discovering, how do I want to think? How do I want to feel? How do I want to behave that's going to bring my outcome? This is your superpower. This is empowerment. This is the only thing you can change. And I just want you to get excited about that. So I'd love for you to shift. Every time you get an outcome result you don't want, I want you to be like, cool, yay, awesome. Not in a sarcastic way, but in a way that brings you a sense of curiosity, a sense of excitement, because you already have what's in you to make a new outcome. First, take a few deep breaths when you notice that you don't have the outcome you want. Because what happens is the body tightens, the breath starts to become shallow, and it believes that we are in threat. It starts to beat us up. The unconscious mind, aka ego, starts saying, what's wrong with us? Why can't I figure this out? Or what's wrong with them? What's wrong with my partner, my team, my spouse, my child? And then we spiral down. The sooner you can pick yourself up and take a few deep breaths and locate that you're okay right now because you have breath. The very, very basics is that I have breath, my heart is beating, and I'm able to think a new thought. Once my breath is fully given to my lungs, I'm able to relax. This is science that when we fully breathe, it rewires our blood chemistry. It gets rid of the cortisol, which is the hormone that drives us nuts and gives us into that scarcity thinking, to serotonin, the happy hormone that allows us to realize that we're okay right now, that we're safe right now. So take a few deep breaths, and then I want you to write down the thought. Once you feel stable, once you feel rooted in your feet, that you're okay, write down the thought that's causing you to suffer, meaning it doesn't bring you peace and joy. Write every word down, that statement. And then write down the very opposite, word for word, of that thought. Then I want you to write 3 ways that the opposite could actually be true. It's the way to get you out of your automatic thinking. But you can't do it until you're at a state of peace and joy. So I really want you to breathe fully, all the way in and all the way out. All the way in and all the way out. Let your exhale be a little longer than your inhale. And make this breath your pattern even when you're not triggered. So you'll notice that you are not fully breathing right away instead of realizing it, because our pattern is to not fully breathe. It's true for everyone. We breathe just from our chest up to our head instead of all the way from basically our waist all the way up to the top of our shoulders. That's how big our lungs are. It's pretty amazing. So make that a practice when you're not triggered, in the morning, lunchtime, afternoon, and before bed, maybe 4 times a day, that you set a practice. Set an alarm on your phone to remind you. Set an alarm on your calendar to remind, just breathe. Because when we are in our breath, we realize, I'm safe right now. Just in this now moment, I have enough. I am enough. And I know how to love myself because I'm appreciating that I have breath. And my breath that I'm given is a gift. It is a gift. And your breath is a gift because you are worthy. All right, dear ones, I hope this is helpful. Reminder that the way we relate to ourselves is how we relate to others. And if you are wanting to discover how to build a different relationship with your spouse, or dating, or finding a way to date differently by being purposeful about who you're becoming, reach out to me, because I've got a new offer around dating, and I'm really excited about that. It's something that I think will help all of us. All right, dear ones, sending you a huge hug.